Welcome to Brief Moments of Rest. So I invite you to watch this video at least once a day. Notice that when we're thinking, there's a lot of activity of words and pictures and sensations that are happening in our experience. And we spend most of our day thinking. So just kind of imagine the words and pictures are right here in front of you, and watch my hands for a second as I just move that out of the way, and you stop for a second. You just stop thinking for a second, even a few seconds, and you notice that in a very basic sense, you're aware. You're aware of space, of colors, sounds, sensations. But just for that moment, you're not thinking. Even if you only get a few seconds, notice the peace there. Notice the relaxation. And then throughout the day, come back to that rest, taking short moments of resting without thoughts. All that I want you to do is notice when words or pictures arise. The key is to shift from thinking to looking at the thoughts. So when we're thinking, we're just going with whatever comes up, and we're all completely in that, and that's thinking. But the shift from thinking to looking is becoming aware of a mental image as it arises. And then just letting it be, watching it until it fades. And then when it fades, there's another space there without thought, and you relax and rest as what's aware. Or if you have words coming up, maybe your mind is giving you a lot of things right now, just listen to the words, and once you hear them, you're shifting from thinking to hearing the words. And then when the words fall away, just for a few seconds, add no other words. Rest without thought in a brief moment. With brief moments, all that we're doing is we're noticing that space between thoughts, that space between words, between pictures, and we're coming into the reality of the present moment. We're literally just aware for a few seconds at a time, but as you do this more and more, it becomes automatic, it becomes natural, and that's why I call it natural rest. So whatever you're thinking now, just notice that you're thinking. Hear the words, or look at the picture, and just let it float there as you're looking at it or hearing it, and then watch it come to rest. And it's like it disappears into space. It just vanishes. And then as it disappears again, there's a moment of quiet, spacious presence, and you can rest there. At first it feels like a practice. That's okay. Make it a practice. It becomes automatic after a while. We're not trying to get rid of thoughts, not trying to get rid of the words or the pictures or the sensations. Just noticing when they arise. We're shifting from thinking to hearing the words or seeing the pictures, and then watching them disappear and taking a few seconds of rest again. As you're taking a moment of rest between words and pictures, start to feel into whatever sensation or emotion is coming up. This is the stuff that we avoid in addiction, so we want to stop avoiding that. What does it mean to feel something? It literally means to bring your attention down into the feeling or the sensation and feel it without the words and pictures on it. to feel it very directly, as if you have no comments about it, nothing to say about it, nothing to think about it. You just bring your attention all the way into it and feel it and do nothing with it. So do that now as you're resting. Bring your attention into whatever sensation or emotion you're experiencing, but without those words. Feel into it and begin to notice the space around the sensation or emotion. If you notice when you're really quiet, it's like there's a sensation there or an emotion, but it's hanging out in space like the moon hangs out in the night sky. Around the moon there's lots of space, and we notice that when we look at the moon. We can do the same with these emotions and sensations. We feel them, bring our attention all the way into them, but also relax and get quiet as if you're listening for a pin to drop. And in that quietness, we become aware of the space that's all the way around the sensation or emotion in every direction. There's space above it, below it, on each side of it. And we just rest, letting that sensation or emotion be there as it is, without trying to change it, move it, get rid of it, or even understand it. And just notice that the quiet, thought-free presence often doesn't last a long time, and that's okay. All I'm asking you to do is just to notice when you're thinking again. And resting isn't always about just resting without thought. Sometimes you just rest, noticing the words coming through like a stream. One set of words after the other, but you're not trying to jump on the train or jump in the stream. You're just hearing the words come through, and you're resting as that which is aware of the words or aware of the pictures, letting them be as they are. And then whenever you have another chance, you take a moment and let the current words or the current picture naturally dissolve as you look at it, and then rest again in the moment. One of the big keys to resting is that when you're taking a short moment without thought, bring your attention down into sensation and feel it. Feel it in the way that water would seep into a sponge. The water seeps all the way through the sponge. It doesn't stop halfway. So you want to feel all the way through an emotion with your attention, very quietly, without thoughts. So just take a little time with me, and even after this presentation is over, sit quietly and notice what I'm pointing to. Check it out in your own experience. Notice that you're thinking, and that it's either words or pictures, and that you are aware of those, and that you don't have to do anything with them. You're just aware of them arising, and then you watch them fall. And then when they fall, there's a space without thought. Just notice how big that space is, how infinite it is as you rest. It has no boundaries. It's just quiet, thought-free presence. Again, if there's any emotion or sensation, you feel into it and rest, letting it be as it is. Take these brief moments throughout the day as often as possible. Don't just do it when you're watching this video. Let this video simply be the starting point for each day. Once you watch the video and it stops, begin to take those brief moments throughout the day for the rest of the day. Sometimes you're resting without thought. Sometimes you're noticing that you're aware of words and pictures coming and going. But either way, you're resting in presence.